What's up, people? I know your boy, the Latin assassin himself, Big Lou, tapping back in with what it do with Big Lou and the ZR2.
Liked and shared the channel with your family, friends, folks, peoples, gente, buddies, pals, amigos, amicos, and like us, Puertorriqueños, Boricuas, Jibaritos, Portorros, PRs, Ricans say, panas. So we got one in the chat. Richard Dowling said, respects, Big Lou, Tuesday. I got two 8-week-old American Pit Bull Terriers, Buster and Bounty. Brother and sister, they are just the right spark I needed. Hope all is good with you and your fam. Yep, it's all good in Hollywood. Richard Dowling, and I send mine right back over the pond to you in Ireland. Right. I'll be turning on the camera in a second here. But I wanted to, I made a video I went live on, what was it, Sunday, not this past Sunday, the Sunday before. Bars to Bricks Ministries. What's going on, guy? Thanks for stopping in. So I made a video on Sunday, not last Sunday, the Sunday before, when I had picked up May in Sacramento, and the live was as I was driving. I think it was as I was driving back. It was like a 45-minute drive. But anyways, I was kind of talking about the things, what to expect when you get a puppy. Things to do, things not to do, such as things like that. And I got talking about different things, and the chat started talking about, I don't really remember exactly, but I really didn't get to finish up that topic. So basically, I remember speaking about the parvo shot, and mainly it was about the parvo shot and how that works, and things like that. I don't really remember too much of the other stuff, but the parvo shot definitely, and I think I spoke about the rabies shot, how 4 months old, they got to be 4 months old in order to get the puppy registered with your city or your county. You have to have proof of the rabies. Also, some of the dog grooming places, they require the rabies shot in order for them to bathe the dog or cut their nails or do anything like that. Sometimes they require that rabies shot. Most of the time they do, unless the puppy is younger than 4 months, because you can't get the rabies shot until they're 4 months old. And so those things are important, but mainly, like I mentioned, I'll go over it again because it's very important. And since I got American bullies, they got high, majority of their bloodline is either pit bull, American Pit Bull Terrier, or Staffordshire Terrier, or both. And it's usually everybody that I've seen do the DNA test, their dogs always come back like either one of those breeds or the other, or both of them together. The ones I just said, the American Pit Bull Terrier or the American Staffordshire, 70 to 90%. And then the other 10 to 30% could be American Bulldog. It could be American Bulldog. It could be Mastiff, Bull Mastiff, Neapolitan Mastiff, probably King Corso, probably Borbals in there. Also, I believe Rottweiler's in there too, because that's how you get the black tries and the chocolate tries. You know what I mean? And usually that percentage is low though. But you guys know I always talk about QBN kennels, Raul. That you can go there to his channel and learn a lot about the American bullies. But he did a video Sunday after his live stream, and it was comparing the American Pit Bull Terrier, Staffordshire Terrier, to the XL bullies. And I mean, they're way different. They're way different. I mean, yeah, a lot of similarity. A lot of people just say it's the same thing. It's just the XL American bullies are just bigger. And they're bigger, but that's not all the way true. The shape of their heads, the shape of the angle of their foreheads, the width the width of their jaws, the shape of their jaws, even the shape of the head, the wideness of the head, the necks are different. All that stuff's different. The rear ends are different. I've said this so many times. American Pit Bull Terrier, Staffordshire Terrier, a male usually tops out at about 60 pounds, 65 pounds. You hear some people say 70, 75, but that's putting a little bit more on it. They're usually very cut up, muscular. Females are like 45, 50 pounds. You know what I mean? So, that's the difference. And there's a big difference. Raul is a solid. Yeah, he is. And what's cool about Raul is that he don't, what's up, Leo? But the thing about Raul is that he don't, like, he's willing to share. Like, so many people are like, they want to hold secrets, like whatever it might be, home remedies for this or home remedies for that, and he actually shows and takes the time. The only thing he requires is, if you're going to ask him questions, to be a member of his channel, which is $5 a month, right? I get that. You know what I mean? I can get that somewhat, you know what I mean? I have a female staffy and she's about 45 pounds. Yeah, see, exactly. My son has one. She's about a year old and she's like 52, 56, something like that. She's had one heat so far. She should be coming in that second one soon here. My female Daisy's 8.5 months old. She's born August 8th, 2022. So what is that? 4 months, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then today's already the 20 something. So she's 8 months, 20 days old. So she's about 8 months, 3 weeks. And she hasn't had a heat yet. She's 75 pounds, but she's an XL. She's an XL American Bully. My boy now, Champ, is 4 months old. He turned 4 months on April 21st. It's either the 20th or 21st. He's born of December. I forgot. I got to look at the papers. But the 20th or the 21st would make him 4 months old. He's already taller than Daisy now. Daisy is 19 inches tall, so she just cracked that. She just cracked the standards for an XL American Bully for a female is 19 to 22 inches, and she just hit 19 inches. I don't know, about 3 weeks ago. And then my male, like I said, he's just barely 4 months old. He's already he got to the point where he was back and back with her. And then at 19 inches, now he's past her. He's about 19 and a third or 19 and a quarter inches tall. And he's only 4 months old, like I said. He's in that real slender state right now, that real, that lanky stage, which I don't like. Most people don't like it. You know what I mean? But it's part of the process. You just got to trust the blood, So I think this boy's going to be like a 25, 20 inch at least tall dog. His mom is 25 inches tall. His dad's only like 21 inches, 22. They say 22, but to be honest, I think he's more like 20 or 21. He's definitely got that bully look. And he outthrows him, he outproduces himself. There's somebody else that has some puppies, that's Champ's half brothers, same father, different mother. And they're the pictures I had got of them. They're almost a year old now. They'll be a year on the 3rd of June. The pictures that I got of them, they're like 7 months old and they're already like 100 pounds. 3 boys, and they're all 3 of them are between 90 and 99 pounds, 90 and 98 pounds. All 3 boys. They're big. And it's a trip too, because Champ's mom she's a big female. Champ's mom is 25 inches tall with a 26-inch head, 140 pounds. And that other female to those puppies, to the half brothers to Champ, she's like a standard size. She's like 18 and a half inches, 18 inches tall, maybe 19. She might be barely cracking it, but she's only weighing about 70 pounds. And literally half the size of Champ's mom, weight wise, and about 5 or 6 inches shorter. And she threw some huge sons, and unfortunately for them, they got stuck with these puppies because the kennel partner she was using is in New York, and she is running around transporting puppies to Australia, England, Ireland, Scotland, Wales, all over the place. for Red Lion, for different kennels. You know what I mean? Red Lion's probably the biggest one as far as out of the ones she's working for that I know of. But at one point she was doing it for Bossy, doing it for BGK. They had a lot of dogs overseas, especially Bossy. What's up, JM? Um, so yeah, it just the genetics of things is just it's a trip sometimes how things work out where you think here just like in the case I just mentioned. Champ on the thing with Champ's mom, and I call her the game changer. Her name is Valkyrie. She no matter what male they breed her to, she throws tall sons and big sons. Like they have one son from like 3 or 4 years ago. He's about 3 or 4 years old now. His name is Magnum. He's 190 pounds, 30 inches tall with a 30-inch head. They have another son named, I think it's Cujo. I believe it's Cujo, or it might be, yeah, I think it's Cujo, and he's about 170 pounds, big ass head. He's got about a 27-inch head, 170 pounds. You know what I mean? And then they have another boy from the breeding before Champ's breeding. His name is Big Chief. He's about 150, 160 pounds now, 14, 15 months old, and he's 28 inches tall with a 27.5-inch head. No fly zone Ricans. All right. 8 peepers, 4 likes. Que carajo. Hit the like. Yeah, hit the like, peoples. What's going on, Nelson? Let's see. BGK, Andre Solid, breeder too. So Andre's dog that he's pushing right now, the one he brags about a lot and for good reason, Gambino, he is, so the dog that we just got a couple weeks ago, Maybelline, that's his dog's first cousin. And then Daisy's second cousin, and then Champ's third cousin. So Daisy's grandfather and Gambino's father are brothers in the same litter. And matter of fact, the guy that I got May from sold Monster Bully Kennels Morphosis. And then I believe Andre Dre from BGK took one of his females to Morphosis, and that's how he got Gambino. And Gambino's a lot bigger than Morphosis. Morphosis is not that big of a dog. He's not that tall, but he throws some very, very, very nice. Don't get startled. My dogs are right there. They're puppies, but I don't want you guys to get scared when they bark. Yep. Yeah, some young girls are running. They're probably running track for the high school. I got the dogs in the shade right now because it's very, very hot over here, man. It read 100 degrees, but I think it was more like low 90s. I don't want them to startle them. You know what I mean? Jump out barking or something and they get scared. So I let them know. But yeah, so that's yeah. And then Richard, I don't know, did you see that video he put out with the legends and the honorable mentions? So if you haven't, go to BGK's channel, and it's a video called Legends. It's 15 legends, and the only 2 dogs that are alive, or excuse me. In the 15 legends he named, there's only 1 dog that's alive that he considers a legend, and that's Hulk from DDK. Other than that, all those dogs have passed. Okay. Out of those ones he mentions Markov, he mentions King Corleone, he mentions King Lager and King Lion. Those 4 dogs are on Daisy's pedigree as well as May's pedigree. And then Champ doesn't show all of them because Daisy's is a generation behind May, and then Champ's 2 generations behind her. So then some of the generations get cut off because they only go so far back on the papers, on the ABKC papers. And then in the honorable mentions, he mentions Morphosis, which is, like I said, is Daisy's great uncle, Champ's great uncle, and Maybelline's straight up uncle. And then they name Woodland, who is Maybelline's half brother, and it's Daisy's uncle, and it's Champ's great uncle. And then they also there's another dog they named too. Actually, I think that's it. On the honorable mentions, they named it too. So yeah, in that video, there's like 5 dogs, 6, maybe even 6 dogs that are on these guys' pedigrees. The dogs I got. Thing is, with the dogs I got, they're all related, right? So our plan was, though, we're going to be taking Maybelline to her half brother Goliath, and then the next litter we were going to take her to Champ. Hopefully, Champ's popped by then, and he's, matured and developed his size, and take her to him, and then that'll be her retirement. She won't be bred no more. But then after that, we got to bring new blood in. We can't continue to keep breeding the same dogs that were doubling up and tripling up on some of the pedigree. And so we got 3 things in the work right now. So I mentioned earlier the dog Future, or no, I didn't mention her name, but her name's Future. She's the mother of the ones I told you that are half brothers to Champ, that they got stuck with the dogs. Well, I didn't even finish saying what happened there. So what happened there was because I stopped at saying that she was a transporter that was going overseas and transported dogs. So what happened was her kennel partner wasn't keeping her up to speed with pictures and all that, so she could put it out there. And they end up getting stuck with these 3 puppies. And so now she's, they're almost a year old. And June 3rd, they'll be a year old. And she's trying to scramble to get rid of them because I guess wherever they're at, it's in New York, the city's on them now. And so the mother's there, Future. And so she's in Rochester. So we're trying to get her. And then another kennel reached out to me and was like, "Hey, I like the way you you platform your dogs. The way you showcase your dogs on your Instagram and on your YouTube. And we want to keep these guys local, because a few people reached out to us after we put it out there from down south, Southern California, and they're like, it's just too far. Even though it's still California, it's just too far to want to, if they want to just pull up and check on the dog or see how the progress, it's just too far. And then everything would have to be done in pictures. And, some people don't want to deal with that. And so he originally he got at me about a 7-month-old male. And I was like, you know what? We don't want males where we're at, where we're keeping May and all that. We want just females, and Champ's the only male, but he's, young, So anyways, he reached back out to me a couple of days later. Well, before that, he tells me about this female that just had puppies. The puppies are about 6 weeks old. She's a black and white female, and she comes from the bloodline of Champ's mom, which is called Ellis. And she has a couple of BGKs. No, I take that back. There's 2 BGK dogs on Champ's mom's pedigree, and the rest are all Ellis. And this dog is majority Ellis. So I reached out to ask more about that bloodline from Champ's mom, the B&B bullies, the ones that own Champ's mom. And, they told me, you can do some things with that, especially, what they carry, as far as the colors, the brindle, the black dominant gene. And I had some other questions about the something else. So anyways, I was told, definitely get that other dog, the one from New York. But anyways, back to the what I was saying about this other female that just had these puppies. Whatever dogs we get, they have to be dogs that get along with other dogs, get along well. You know what I mean? We can't have, if it's like, sometimes they get territorial over a toy or anything like that, we can't mess with it. We don't want to mess with it. We just don't want to put ourselves in a position, where we got to break up a fight. Dogs could get hurt, and we don't want nothing to do with any of that. You know what I'm saying? So, and we don't have kennels yet. But that's all being taken care of now. So that not an issue, but that little thing, that situation with that female might change. But anyways, we were offered her daughter, and she's a black Trindle. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. So I'm pretty sure you guys are familiar with brindles, right? So Trindle, and she's a tri. That's where you get the tri in the Indle. Trindle, and that means that she's a tri means 3. So if you're a black tri, that means you're, the Rottweiler color, right? The main color, the black with the tan points, which I call rust, and then a little bit of white. So that's what she got. And then she has the brindle, so that's why they call it Trindle. So you can see it underneath the black, in certain areas. On this little pup, it's on her feet, and a little bit on her neck and head, and you know what I mean. And it's a nice color. I like it. I like Trindle. You know what I mean? And so she's like 6-7 weeks old right now, and I think she's gonna be ready in a couple of weeks. But we have to get her ears cropped and all that. And so we'll have those. So we'll have May, we'll have Daisy, we'll have Future, and then we'll have that little pup, which you don't have a name yet. Then on the males, we got Champ, obviously, and then we'll have Red. And Red is or Big Red, they call him. He's a 7-month-old reddish Merle. So you can't breed him to Maybelline because she's a Merle, and I wouldn't breed him to Daisy either because Daisy has those gray eyes, and he has like a yellowish eyes. Plus, he's Merle, so usually they have those light color eyes. I am just not gonna take a chance. I don't want to do it. I don't want to take a chance with breeding two dogs with light color eyes, especially the ones because the Merles have the incomplete genes, right? Meaning um, that's why you can't breed a Merle to a Merle because of what the possibility that could happen, the blindness, the deafness, both or worse. So I just rather not take Daisy to anything that has light color eyes. So any pretty much Merles, any white dogs, any dogs with blue eyes or green eyes, with her, she has those icy gray eyes. So and then I started dabbling about the fact that since now, Champ is, well, not now, but we knew he was going to be a big dog as far as height wise and all that. Um, and I think he's going to be 25, 26 inches tall. Daisy, on the other hand, she's Daisy's, hold on. So Daisy, like I was saying earlier, she's 19 inches tall, right? And I don't think she's gonna get much. Okay, and then let's put this into play too. Her Aunt May is literally an inch or not an inch, but 2 inches to 3 inches taller than her, and it's more like 2 inches. So her aunt's like about 21, maybe hitting 22, right? Inches. So I think Daisy's only going to get about maybe an inch, maybe two tops. So 20, 21 inches tall for her, right? And she's currently 75, 76 pounds. She's 8.5 months old. I could see her putting on 20 pounds, right? And from the beginning, I said that she was going to be a 90 to a 110, so it looks like I'm going to be pretty right on that. Her head, she has a 22-inch head. I'm hoping she gets to about 24. Her mother has a 25-inch head, and her aunt that I have there has a 27-inch head. So they're big females. The mother and the aunt are big females. So I'm hoping. So what I was saying was, the difference on the height. He's going to be 5 or 6 inches taller than her. Is that too much? The difference there? Should I take Daisy if I even breed Daisy? Because now that we got May and we got these other things in the works, maybe I don't breed her at all. But should I take more of a compact, maybe a 22-inch, a male that's just a little bit taller than her, an inch or two taller than her, or even a 23, but you're talking 25, 26. Is that going to be too much of a difference? And then too, you got to look at too, like Daisy's nose, or not her, yeah, her muzzle. She has that short muzzle. I really like that. Champ right now has a longer muzzle, but that's not to say that he's not going to grow into his head. You know what I'm saying? Because I think his head's going to get wider. I think his head's going to get wider, and and he's going to grow into his face. Into his nose. His snout's kind of long right now, but I think he's going to grow into it. So if he does all that, that'll be cool. The thing with Maybelline is she's got a lot of loose skin around her mouth. Like more of a massive look. I don't dig that too much. I like it more tighter skin, tight skin where you can see the definition of the jaw, and you can see the definition of the, you could just see the when they're chewing, you can see the definition of the flexing of the jaw and stuff like that. Basically like how Raul's dogs are. Like I like that look of those females he has, Cadabra and Cafe and Mocha. The ones that they have that nice tight skin. You know what I mean? That's what I really like. So we'll be working on that too, and then obviously we'll have to bring in some new blood. Like I said, to fix some of these flaws that I believe that are flaws and things that I like. Like for example, Daisy has she got a great structure, straight feet. What I mean? Her top line's good. Her rear angulation's good. Same thing with Champ. You know what I mean? Straight feet, even though he's lanky and tall, when he runs, he's not running all funny. He's pretty quick, and so I like that about them. Um, but definitely the things I just mentioned, I would like to clean up. And then we'll see how for a female, I think a 23, 24-inch head is more 24-inch head. I think that's good on for a female, on what I'm looking for. When it comes to the males now, 20s, it depends how their body shape is and how bully they look. But a 26 to a 28 is probably what I'm thinking of. You know what I mean? And it's a trip too, because you see a lot of these dogs that look good. Some will have a nice big head. They'll be hefty, heavy, 150, 160 pounds, but they don't have real, not real wide shoulders, or they don't have a real, a type of chest that you would think would naturally go along with a 150-pound body. You know what I mean? So there's things that you got to work on throughout your breedings to try to get what you want. Because in my opinion, there's no such thing as a perfect dog, but there's some dogs that are real close. You know what I mean? Real close, as close as you can get. I mean, out of 100, I would say they're 95, 96s on the scale. You know what I mean? That's pretty darn good. But it's just one of those things. It's just time will tell. You know what I mean? Now I found a couple of pictures of Smut. Let me clarify that so people understand. Smut is the color of Champ, that brownish sable, reddish sable with the black mask. They call that Smut, right? I found let me see, 3 different three different Instagram pages with dogs that I very, very much so believe that he's going to look like those dogs once he's full grown. One is he's kind of more of a blue fawn color, and he's got the blue muzzle, blue mask. The second one is he's more of a sable, a red sable, but no mask. And then the last one I found, he's that reddish sable Smut with the black muzzle, and that's the one I believe he's going to look like, and that one looks the best. I really can't tell how tall he is in that picture, but I can tell that he's a good 140, 150 pound dog, easy. I mean, very well structured, nice feet, top line's good, no high rear. From the picture, I can tell his tail's nice and even tail. No gay tail, none of that stuff. You know what I mean? But you just can't really tell exactly how tall he is. You know what I mean? He's definitely a 23, no doubt. But he looks more like a 24, 25-inch, tall from the withers. I've said it for a while, like predictions when it comes to Champ, I give myself about 20 pounds. I'll say, actually 40 pounds. I'll say he'll be anywhere from 120 to 160, and then head 26 to 28. Both his parents have 26-inch heads, so not common sense, but probability is you think he would have at least a 26-inch head, but that doesn't always mean nothing. You know what I mean? And then I believe his neck, he's gonna have about if I'm thinking his neck's the head's gonna be 26, 28 inches. I believe his neck's gonna be 24 inches, 20 maybe to 26 inches, because his father has a 26-inch head with a 26-inch neck. So, and he's got a short back, and this guy's long. Champ's long, so you can't really always go about how the parents are. It just doesn't always work that way. And like I said, he's a game changer. His mother, Valkyrie's a game changer. Anybody, if you want, go to B&B Bullies and check out Champ's mom and some of his siblings. And I'm being biased, obviously, but this litter that Champ it was 7 puppies. Besides Champ, his brother Heimdall and his sister, which they changed their name now, it was Fireball, it's something else now. They were triplets. Heimdall was a little was more browner than Champ, and then the sister's a little more redder, and they all got the black mask, the smut. And then there was a blonde male named Achilles who they kept. They also have a black tri female named Whiskey that they kept. And then they kept another male, but it's at another location. He's a chocolate and white, which they call piebald, Sergeant Slaughter. And then they sold, or they got, sold a all black female named Luna, who I just seen her yesterday. She looks awesome. What else? There's that's all of them, right? Yeah, that's all the pups, and every one of them. I believe they're all legends in the making. You know what I mean? Because here with us, Champ, we got huge plans for him. You know what I mean? If everything works like we think it's going to work, as far as him maturing the way we think he is, he's going to be a hot commodity. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to come out here and say, oh, until you get some of Champ's secret sauce, your yard is lacking. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many people, it's crazy. They'll let them tell it. It's like you're failing until you get something from them. It's fucking crazy, man. There's so many nice dogs out there, but you listen to these clowns and it's, it's just, it's insane, man. Instead of people looking out for each other and trying to uplift each other and help each other out, and talk good about each other when it's relevant, when it's warranted. They got people, they're hating on each other. It makes no sense to me. You know what I mean? It makes no sense to me, man. It just shows you that they're just haters at heart, man. You know what I'm saying? Haters at heart. They should be getting, for anything that somebody does well, they should be held up and say, hey, man, game recognized game. You're doing a good job over there. Good looking dog, beautiful female. Beast mode male, whatever. You know what I mean? But you don't get that. You get more of the hate and talking behind people's backs. And not only that, there's a lot of janky moves in this business, man, with American bullies. I mean, I'm pretty sure it goes on with a lot of breeds, but I've heard so many terrible stories over the last couple of weeks. It's crazy. And then big name kennels too. Getting caught hanging papers and selling dogs that ain't even the dogs they're saying they are. You know what I mean? It's crazy. It's in other words, they do a DNA test on the. Okay, for example, this lady, I don't know who she is or even what she looks like or none of that, but she came on this channel. I think it was Raul's channel. Now I think of it, and she said that she bought a puppy, so many months down the road or a year down the road. The breeder told her, hey, you remember the dog that you got from me? Yeah. You remember her mother? Yeah. I'm selling her. You want to get her? And the person ends up getting her. And she ends up doing a DNA test on the dog, and the dog not related to that mother at all. The two dogs are not even related. You got that type of stuff going on. Then you got guys that are, I don't know if they're letting multiple dogs breed with their dog, or they're actually breeding with another dog and trying to sell it as a bully. It might be half what do you call that? Presa Canario. And they're breeding they're letting their dogs breed, and they're not keeping it real about it. You know what I'm saying? They're saying that it's a bully. But come to find out when they're doing the DNA test, it's half Cane Corso or half Presa Canario, things like that. You know what I mean? That's and these are big name people too that have TV shows and been all over the world. All over the country on different TV shows. Good Morning America and freaking Good Day or whatever they call it. 2020. I'm not sure what they're all. Dateline. But he's been on different shows, and he's got supposed to be a reputable person, but they're finding out a lot of janky shit about some of these breeders. It's crazy. You know what I mean? It's crazy. Somebody else, I guess they They introduced another breed to their to their they introduced another breed to their program, I guess, a totally different breed, and they bred and they sold the puppies as purebreds for top dollar. And kind of find out when they did a DNA test, they're not even purebred. You know what I mean? So you got a lot of that going on, man. It's I think at some point, what's going on there? I think at some point the registry um, is gonna do a partnership with like Embark or one of these companies that do DNA testing, and that way, everything's fully backed. You know what I'm saying? Which they probably should. Um, it would weed out a lot of janky people. It would obviously better the breed. Some of these people that are breeding Merles to Merles and not healthy dogs and stuff like that. Knowing the dog's not healthy, and just because for the money, they're breeding dogs, and then they just discard the ones that are sick. And what I mean, it's insane. They have no ethical, no ethics at all. No integrity. No. They're not transparent about anything. They lie, and they're just janky about it, man. And I don't want to be associated with anybody like that. Because you know what they say, right? Birds of a feather flock together, guilty by association. Then you start being drugged into things. Oh, you must have known all along as well. I don't want nothing to do with none of that. I want to be legit. I want to be, when I make a deal with somebody, I want I want it to be that way through and through. You know what I mean? So that's where we're at with that. And that's why our first channel was called No Fly Zone, because it was basically, this is no place for bullshit. It doesn't fly here. And that's the same reason why I started calling my little kennel, even though it's not a kennel yet, the No Fly Zone Bullies or No Fly Zone Bulls. The same reason, It's not that bad. Like if there's something that you obligated yourself to, like you made some agreement with somebody, and you're doing payments or whatever it might be, and something happens where, you can't make that payment, or you can't make it when you said you were. How come people just can't say, hey, you know what, there's been a little change in things. I apologize, but instead of getting it to you this day, it's gonna have to be 2 weeks from now, or I can give you half in 2 weeks and the other half, within a week or two of that, whatever it might be. But instead, these people will just go off the radar and try to, not take your calls or whatever it might be, and then that gets the people aggravated, right? And agitated, and then it could escalate to something else. But it's just a trip. It's just a trip. I've making deals with people. You put everything out on the table. You put everything on the table. Of what you can do and what you can't do, and then all of a sudden here you think you made some type of agreement, and then when you run it back to them, like, wait a minute, I thought we agreed to this, and then it's like, and I was gonna do this and do that. Oh, well, that goes without saying. Wait a minute. Goes without saying, my left foot. You know what I'm saying? Nothing goes without saying. Everything goes that's stipulated and agreed upon. It's a trip. I just don't understand. I just don't get how people's logic of thinking. I don't know. It's a trip. It's a trip. But like I was saying yesterday in that little video, that it doesn't matter what genre you go to or you're involved with or whatever, how you want to state that. There's some janky shit across the board. It doesn't matter if it's hip hop genre, the so-called mob genre, it's the prison genre, the prison channel genre. You know what I mean? It's the the dog genre. It's there. It's there. The bullshit is there. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want to be a part of it. That's why I don't watch a lot of shows no more. It's got to the point now where I've heard so much bullshit out of people's mouths that I can't even stand listening to their voice, just because it tends to irritate the shit out of me. You know what I mean? But it is what it is, man. It is what it is. So let's get back to what I was saying about the puppy. So important thing is when you get your puppy, there's more to just, you know, this is a jacked up thing people do is they just think, you know, you get a puppy, you get the dog, you throw it in the backyard, and you feed it, and that's it. You know what I mean? It's like I know people that have dogs for years, and these dogs never been to the vet for a checkup. They never been to, well, good thing they never been sick. But what I mean by that was more that they never even had vaccines. You know what I mean? Any of that type of thing. Which, you know, when it comes to parvo, that's life and death a lot of times. You know what I mean? But when you get your puppy, you know, you make sure you get, you know, make sure you're ready. Make sure you have a collar, a leash, a harness, you know, and then you're gonna start trying to walk them on the leash or her on the leash, and it's gonna, you know, they're not gonna go for it right away. They're gonna resist. They're gonna pull, but then you just keep working with it. And, you know, one thing when it comes to the dogs, young dogs, when you're doing something, it's not about it's about progress, not perfection. So if your dog does it something, whatever you're trying to get it to do correctly, like 3 times in a row, stop. You know what I mean? That's it. Stop for the day. Put him or her back in the crate, and then that way they know that, you know, until further notice, the program shut down. You know what I mean? But, you know, you have those things ready. You have their bowls and water bowls ready and food bowls. Keep to the best of your ability, keep their water bowl high, right? Because what happens is puppies don't care where they step. They'll step in shit, their own shit, their siblings' shit, and then they'll put their foot in the water bowl, and then now that contaminates it, and now, you know, they go back and drink that water, and now they get sick. I forgot the name of that, but it's not too good either. So the best thing to do is they have these new things they offer at Petco, PetSmart online, where the bowls are sitting off the ground in like they're about maybe 4 inches off the ground, 6 inches. It's a little set type thing, and you know, you got those, or if you got the crate or the kennel, they have different setups where you can pretty much screw it onto the fence, right? And that works for the little food bowl. You set it up to where they have to stretch their neck out, and it helps them develop neck muscles, right? And you know, the water and the crates, I used to have the guinea pig type bottles there, one for each, one for Champ, one for Daisy, because at the time they both fit in that crate relatively comfortable. Now Champ has grown, you know, 25 pounds since then, and he's grown to probably about 5 or 6 inches taller than he was back then, right? Daisy, on the other hand, has put on about 14 pounds on since then, and her head grew almost 3 inches since then. She put on, like I said, she put on 14, 15 pounds. And so, you know, she also grew like an inch and a half, 2 inches taller since then. You know what I mean? So you got all that going on now. So they don't fit in that crate no more. You know, I mean, they do, but it's like a temporary thing. You know, you can't expect them to sleep in there all day, you know, all day and night, even though, you know, Champ's the trip. Like Daisy will lay down and he'll make sure he'll curl himself up and then use her body as a pillow when he puts his head on it. It's a trip. These two guys, I mean, these two guys love each other. I mean, I've even caught them in pictures where Daisy's got her leg, one of her front paw, or her front her front leg, and it looks like her paws, you know, around him, like she's, you know, embracing him. I got other ones where he's laying down and she's got her head on top of his head. Those are on my Instagram, right? And then, like I said, the way he lays down with her, I've never heard these guys get out of line with each other. The only thing I hear is Champ, when they're wrestling, he'll start growling a little bit, but it's part of his play. But as far as like, he put his head in her food bowl, or she put her head in his food bowl, I've never heard no type of aggression or nothing. None at all. And so that's why the problem is with Champ, when he sees like at the park, I used to let him off the leash, and Daisy too. And he sees a dog, he goes after it, to go play. And he just straight ignores me when I'm calling him. Only one time had he stopped in his tracks and came back to me, but it was after like the third time I said his name, and with some authority and pretty loud, and I was surprised he came back. But yeah, he goes and just runs up on these dogs, and that's, part of that is because he came from a kennel where they had many dogs, right? They kept 3 of his litter mates. Mom's there. His older sister and brother from the last litter, Champ and Stiletto's there, right? You got another dog they bought out of from a different kennel, not one that they produced. He's there. I think there's a total of 8 or 9 dogs there. And so he's used to that. He's used to playing all the time. Because I believe they had their own playroom, actually, where like Brett hooked it up where toys were hanging and stuff like that, I believe. Kind of like a playpen type thing, but a room, you know what I mean? So that's what he's used to, He slept outside the other night, though. Well, him and Daisy both slept outside, and I could hear him whining, because he's used to being with me 24/7, both of them. You know what I mean? And it wasn't cold, because even though people are gonna say, "Oh, it hasn't been cold," no, it hasn't. But if you're used to being in the house, because keep in mind too, he came from Washington where it snows. But if he's used to being in the house all day, except for coming out to use the bathroom, it's gonna be the elements are too much for him. It's gonna be I don't know, culture shock, I guess, in a sense, right? So you know what I mean. But B&B did a great job as far as desensitizing these guys with like noises, loud noises. I seen the guy yesterday. I can't think of what the name of his channel is, but he's he just retired from the Miami Police Department. He's the same guy that made a video about the reasons why not to get American Bully, and then a couple days later he made another video dropped on this thing, why get American Bully. So he got a lot of probably shit talking to him, and he didn't go at him bad, but he just said that the dogs are too strong for your 5 or 6 year old to take them for a walk. But why would your 5 or 6 year old be taking your dog for a walk? That's way too young to be taken to be leaving alone. What the hell, 5 or 6 years old? You're talking barely first grade. What are you, crazy? My kid is not going outside to take the dog for a walk at 5 or 6 years old, unsupervised. Come on, man. That sounds ridiculous. So, anyways, he was saying why not to get them, but then this guy he raises Queen Corsos, who are, in my opinion, depending on which dog they're probably even stronger. I know their bites are stronger. You know what I mean? They're taller dogs. They could be more intimidating looking because of the size of them. So I didn't understand that video. But I forgot where I was going with that now. But anyways, he, that's why I like, Raul, because he keeps it real. You know what I'm saying? He keeps it real. And if he don't know something, he'll say, you know what? I don't know it. I don't know. I don't have too much experience with that. Or, no, you know what? In my 7 years of breeding American Bully, I've never seen that happen. Or 7 years of breeding, I've never seen my dog, being pregnant. That happened, or whatever it might be. And that's the way it should be. That's the way it should be. Giving each other, advice and not being so quick to judge all the time and talk shit and hate on each other. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, we don't get that. Are you serious? You want to park right here next to me? Some people, man, they got tons and tons of parking, and this lady's gonna park right next to me, and then I got my dogs right here, chained up, tied up in the shade, and you got all this parking, and now what? I'm gonna have to go move them because it just don't make no sense, man. I don't understand people. I don't understand people at all. It's just something else. All these parking spots make no sense, man. No sense. Anyways, that's what you got to deal with. You know what I mean? But But yeah, that's the way it should be. You know, everybody. Yeah, I think she got the picture now. Yeah, move. You know what I mean? I don't like to be, mean, but damn, man, it's like, oh, never mind. She ain't moving. She's just fixing up her car. Well, she's more closer to the dog now. Jeez. Anyways, I don't like being mean, but I mean, I don't be mean, but I'm just saying, like, I just don't understand. Like, you got all these parking spots, and you see that obviously the dog's in the shade right there. Why would you come and intrude on what somebody else is already doing? You know what I mean? Especially with all the room. You know? So I don't know, but I can't call it like an alcoholic. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, so yeah, the parvo. Make sure, and the way that parvo shot works is you get their first shot around 6 weeks old, 5 weeks, 6 weeks old. You get the second one 4 to 6 weeks after that, and then another 4 6 after that second round. Another 4 6 weeks after that, you get that third and final round. Then after that, you get it once a year. You know what I mean? Once a year, and it'll help you. It'll help your dog from catching that parvo. That parvo is no joke, especially when it comes to any pit bull type breed. Any pit bull type breed, it'll get them. It'll get them good. You know what I'm saying? It'll get them good, and they'll get you can see it too. You can see the different look on their face. You can see that they're not feeling good. You can see that the different there's a smell in the air. Also there's a film on their poop, and it's just I forgot exactly what it does, but it basically attacks their stomach and their throat. I think it's their throat, something with their throat, and they get very dehydrated, and and they lose their appetite and all that stuff. It's a horrible death. I had a couple dogs die of it. I didn't know really what it was at this time. When I got a little bit older, maybe a few years after that, one of my main dogs that I ever had caught it, and we saved him. We took him to the vet. I had to go every day and drop $100. Yo, what's going on? I had to drop 100. Well, actually, it was $90 a day for like 7 days. The 8th day, I picked him up, took him home. So then his nephew, it was either his nephew or son. And the reason why I say that because where he was being kept at, they try to breed him with a female dog, and the brother they try to breed as well. So I don't know which one actually got her pregnant. It might have been both of them. Who knows? But he caught it, and I decided to treat him at home, and he made it. So there are options that you can treat them at home. There's even home remedies that work too, such as Pedialyte, Gatorade, but they'll give you the over-the-counter. I'm not sure. It's a prescription, but it's a big horse pill you got to give them. But yeah, he made it, and he ended up. I was holding him temporarily till he went to his forever home, and then he made it there. So that worked out. So yeah, you get those things done, and then it's like a 7-in-1 or 9-in-1 shot where not only does it take care of parvo, it takes care of other things. And so like I already mentioned, you don't want them stepping in poop and then putting their paws in their water bowls. Also, make sure that you go over your yard because for some reason they're attracted to eat cat poop. Cat poop will kick off that parvo. You know what I mean? Also, like other than the food bowls and all that, figure out how you're going to feed them as far as raw or a kibble diet or, mixture. And another thing too, if you're going to keep your dog in the house, make sure that you clean up everything that you don't want that puppy biting on, because they're going to have a couple different stages of biting, chewing things. You know what I mean? And the best way to do it, if you tell your dog no, say he's chewing on your shoes, no, you just tell him no. You have to give him an option. So the best thing to do is have him with chew toys. You know what I'm saying? Even Daisy, she's 8.5 months old. She still be chewing on things. You know what I mean? Unfortunately for me, neither one of these guys have chewed up my shoes or any of that. They have chewed up my nice brim hats. I don't know if you guys realize, but on the back deck of my car, I have a few brim hats there. So a few times I had the window down and the hats blew down. I didn't even know it. And they were back there chewing on it. And they put a hole in two of them. So wasn't happy about that. But at the end of the day, it's my fault. And that's the thing, people, that when your dogs do something, it's not their fault. It's your fault. Because for one, you should have picked up whatever it was. Or if it's something else like off the house or the corner of the cabinet or something that's not something that's not like like in other words something that's not like loose, or things that are attached to something else that catches your attention. But you got to have them with alternatives. You know what I'm saying? I'm buying these guys a toy pretty much every payday, every Friday. But they destroy the toys quicker than I can replace them. They put holes in them, balls, they'll rip them to pieces. They like to chew on sticks. And the thing is, too, with all these toys, they swallow, they like to eat it all. And that could be a problem. You know what I'm saying? Like the tug of war toys, Champ's mom ended up eating some of it, and it got wrapped around her intestines. They had to have emergency surgery to remove it, some of her intestines, because the piece that the part that hangs in the back of the chew toy, I'll show you what I mean in a second here with the toy. They'll chew on that and then eat it. You know what I mean? So you got to be on top of things. That's why I say stay on point, like Stacey Adams with your dogs. Basically, that just means take care of your dogs. But I don't want to say take care of your dogs, because that's the saying of Fit Bully TV. That's what he says. Take care of your dogs, peoples. You know what I mean? Which is a lot of truth to that. A lot of people don't take care of their dog. Like I said, they think it's just buy a dog, throw them in the backyard. You know what I mean? That's not how it works. That's not how it works. They're depending on you for everything. They're like your little kid. I mean, that's basically what they are, your little kid. They're depending on you for everything, to feed them, to take them out, to go to the restroom, to, if they're a house dog, but definitely feeding them either way, inside, outside. They're looking for you to, caress them and tender, TLC time, or however you want to call it, one-on-one time. And the thing is, in turn, they're loyal. They're your best friend. They'll never betray you. They'll never, all that stuff. You know what I mean? And they're looking always to please you. But you got to meet them halfway. You can't expect that they're, a lot of the dogs are smart off top, but they're smart off top. But there's things that you have to keep them from doing, and things you got to show them. And they're smart. They'll remember. That's why I said, whatever it is you're doing with your dog, training them, you only got to do it 3 times, and then kill it 3 to 5 times, and then stop, put them in the crate, and then go about your business, and then do it again the next day, or 3 to 5 times. That's all it takes. And then eventually they'll get it. You know what I'm saying? What's going on, Jane, Bambi? Yeah, happy Friday. So another thing, when it comes to potty training them, usually they don't piss and shit where they lay. But if you got them, and that's another thing too, the dog's intestines are a lot shorter than ours. So when they go to the back, when they eat and drink, or especially when they eat, they're gonna go poop fast. Like, especially when they're puppies, they go, after eating, they go within an hour or two. You know what I mean? Because their intestines are small, so that it runs through them faster. So if you got them in a crate, most of the time, 7, 8 times out of 10, they're not going to poop and pee in there. But you can't be having them, especially if they're a little puppy, 8-week-old puppy, 10-week-old puppy. You can't have them in there for more than, I would say, 3 hours without taking them out. And really, I want to say 2 hours, every 2 hours. That was another thing too. My sleep was getting all jacked up too, because I was taking them out every couple of hours. But say that's on me. That's my responsibility. You know what I'm saying? Again, they're depending on you. So if you do have them in a kennel or a crate, eventually they will go to the bathroom in there if you're leaving them in there for 6-8 hours. You know what I mean? Like I said, 3 hours should be tops. You should bring them out every 3 hours, and I'm thinking more 2 hours. You know, um, and they'll usually go pee like with Champ. Like Champ, I was telling somebody and asking them pretty much for what they thought. I said, he poops 3 or 4 times a day, and he eats once. You know what I'm saying? And it's not real big. It's not real big ass poop turds. You know what I mean? So I'm thinking he's dropping it in how would I say that? And he's dropping them in, like, when he poops, it's like half of what a regular poop would be. You know what I'm saying? That makes any sense. So, but what I was getting to was that I think his metabolism is sped up, and that's part of the reason why he hasn't been putting weight on. Because all his brothers and sisters that I see that gets posted, they're all they not healthier, but they look more thicker. I was looking to say they look more thicker to him, but then you can tell that he's tall. Like, you can tell that he's very, very tall, even compared to them, long and tall. And so, where was I going with this? Oh yeah, I was wondering if because he's going to the bathroom so much and so fast, if that's, if he's not able to from this food, take the nutrients, minerals, protein, whatever it is out the food, and being, how would I say that? It's being transferred to his body, because he's going so fast, and is that partly why he's staying slender like that, really lanky, because of that, and some people said, yeah. And other people said, well, how many times you feeding him? And I said, and he eats the same amount as Daisy too. That's the thing. I feed them both 20 to 25 ounces a meal. And I have this, the reason why I know the size, because I have this can. It's a potter's can, a plant thing, and it's a small one. And the little, when I was referring earlier to the feeding things that you can put on the crates or on the kennels. I had two feeding ones, that I had for these guys attached to the kennel, and it was 20 ounces. It said on the package, you know what I'm saying? And then when that one can it's 10. That flowers pot, I'd fill that thing up to the rim almost, and then pour it in that a little food bowl that I have on the crate, and it would fill it to the top. Daisy didn't play; she'd tear it up. Him, on the other hand, he would leave a lot of it. And I was told by the breeder that they get raw and kibble. So one meal is kibble, which is dog food, if you guys don't know, and the other one is the raw food. He would get, I forgot how much they said, but he would get a couple I forgot the weight on it, but he would get a couple, whatever it was 2 of ground beef with some kibble and some salmon oil and some other stuff, and he would tear it up. And so when I noticed that he wasn't eating, what I did was I fasted him for 1 day, and then the next day I didn't feed him in the morning, and then I fed him in the evening, and he tore it up. And ever since then, actually not since then, but since I started him on new joint, he licks his bowls literally clean now. And it was a vitamin, or what do you call it? New joint. So one bottle's the green bottle's for your immune system, your coat, and your skin, your face, your skin. And then the other one, I don't know why I was going to say face, but then the other one's for your joints, your soft tissues, your ligaments, and all that stuff. And that one, both of them are by weight, but the green bottle is, if you're under 5 pounds, you give them a half a wafer. If you're over 5 pounds, they get a whole wafer. And then the blue bottle is, you give Champ 2, because he's 45 to 60. What is it? 45 to 60 pounds. There's two wafers. 60 to 75 is 3 wafers, which Daisy weighs 76 pounds. and then Maybelline is 140. So over 100 pounds and over is 4 of them, and that stuff, I believe that stuff works good. Uh, I noticed some changes on things in their vitamins. You know what I mean? They're pretty expensive though. You got to have a code to buy it through whoever sponsored by it. In this case, it's QBN Kennels, um, and I bought 4 bottles, 2 and 2, and I believe by me doing it that way, I saved like I think I want to say 10 $12. I think. What's that? So chat. Happy Friday. Yeah. So, anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and tap on out on this one. Anybody, you got any questions about puppies or anything like that, or any questions about, especially the American bullies? Feel free to drop a comment or a concern or a question in the comment section or any of the videos. Even if you got a question that has nothing to do with the video that you're posting it at, but you drop it, I will answer it. Yeah, I'll answer it, and we'll go from there. Whatever it is that you're looking into, or whatever it might be. So be cool. To the next one. Be safe. It's Friday. Stay up on your awareness. You know, if you get that funny feeling about something, trust your gut instinct. Get up out of there. Also, when you get in your car, immediately lock your doors. Also, if you plan on going out tonight and having a little good time or whatever it might be, kicking it with the fellas, kicking it with the friends, whatever it might be, make sure that you first of all got your either a designated driver in place, or a designated driver, or a excuse me, I was just watching this guy walk by and make sure that. So, anyways, either a designated driver, or make sure your Uber account's in line, or your Lyft account, that you have one, because I think you got to set up an account before you can just get a hold of them for a ride. Call a taxi if you have to, and then if it's all those options are bad, then walk. You know what I'm saying? Because I'd rather walk than to catch a vehicular manslaughter. You know what I mean? And that'll send you to prison here in California. But if you already have, say, DUIs or just a regular DUI, driving under influence, they're going to break you off. If you have any driving under influences where you've actually hit other cars, hit people, that's going to jack you up. So, you don't got to take my word for it, but go watch Stay Awake TV. Sticks over there, Stay Awake TV, and hear his story. And he was literally 3 blocks away from his house. His cousin just got out of prison. They were celebrating his release, and he decided to drive them home. He ends up flipping the car. Cousin died, and he ended up going to the pen. I think no, he didn't go to the pen. He ended up getting like this program over there they have where it's pretty intense programming, right? And then you end up graduating where you're able to bring your own clothes in and stuff like that. But it's I want to say it's one of those attack therapeutic communities where like they sit you down and they people are yelling at you, and they're hoping, and it's kind of like a two-way thing. They're hoping that you mess up, but then they're not, but they're pushing you. I don't know. It's just a trip, but nonetheless, it got him through what happened with him. But unfortunately, his cousin passed, and there ain't no bringing him back. You know what I'm saying? But it was an unfortunate situation that happened there that could have been avoided. Just like anybody here that I'm saying this to that are listening, or if you listen to it even later, or even on another date, but you're listening to it, take it in stride, take it for what it's worth. It's not nothing to me trying to tell you what to do. It's just what's right is right. You know what I'm saying? At some point, you got to start growing up and respecting the laws and stuff like that. And so many innocent people nowadays are getting their lives taken for nonsense. You know what I mean? And yeah, that's about all I got on that one. It's just unbelievable. Um, I met a lot of guys in the pen that were, you've heard people maybe asking questions like, "Oh, what happens here when you get released?" And the guys are like, "I don't know. I've never been released. I'm doing, 25 to life, 15 to life on a DUI, driving under influence." And you're like, "What?" Because your second one is a felony. Your second one, yeah, your second. So yeah, something like that. But anyways, you just think about it. If you got 2 or 3 DUIs already, and you've done your time, you've been released. Now you catch another one, and now you took somebody's life. Oh man, they're gonna hammer your ass. I remember one of my neighbors one time, and it was kind of the people's fault too. But the fact that he was drinking, it was it. But uh, dude, like had that's all he would go to prison for was DUIs, DUIs, DUIs. You know what I mean? He had maybe 7 of them over, a period of 18. 18 years old up until he was like, let's see, I think he was born in 64. So he's like 50, 59. And he had from 18 to 59, he had like 6 or 7 DUIs. More towards the end, he started towards the latter part of his life. He started catching them all the time, and they started sending him to prison. And then he ended up catching a vehicular manslaughter, and they gave him 15 in life. I'm pretty sure he's out now. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure he's out now. With everybody that I've seen getting out, I'm pretty sure he's out. But some of the stories are wild. You know what I mean? Some of the stories are wild. Why people are in there, what they did, all that shit. But anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and tap out. Yeah, I was watching this little right now. I was like that. This little kid was dancing. He was on track with the beat too. So I was making my own little beat over here while I was watching him. But anyways, I appreciate everybody that tapped in. Bambi, Jane, Miss, Richard, Nelson, JM, Leo, Shade Tree, Bar to Bricks Ministries. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. But I appreciate everybody that tapped in. At one point, we got up to 10 people, 10 people. It fluctuated a little bit. Nonetheless, I don't worry. I don't trip on any of that stuff because I know that a lot of people will come back and watch it later. You know what I mean? So I appreciate every one of you that I just shouted out in the chat, and also what's that saying? I can't see that good. My eyes are kind of blurry right now. But yeah, I appreciate everybody stopped in, and I appreciate everybody that's gonna tap in after it's uploaded by YouTube. And when I say that, sometimes some people might wonder why he says that, because it usually goes right onto YouTube. But the part about it that doesn't, and when I say upload, is that they don't put the live chat there right away. It's like, I don't know if it's 24 hours or 48 hours, but then they put the chat in there, actual chat, or the live chat. You know what I mean? If that makes sense to you guys. So it was a hot one today, very hot. These guys are in the shade. It's still warm. There's a little breeze. Yeah. All right. Have a good one. So yeah. Sorry about that. I got sidetracked. This person saying something to me. But yeah, it's all good, and I appreciate everybody that tapped in, and everybody that's gonna watch it later. And wish all you guys if I don't come back on until Monday, I wish everybody a blessed, positive, and productive weekend. You know what I mean? And stay on point like Stacey Adams with your dogs. Take care of them turkeys, and jive turkeys. You know what I mean? Take care of your canine companions, right? Just take care of them. You know, you got a certain somebody that's, you know, they show, and that's the thing I don't understand, that you got YouTube going after some people, striking their channels, right? And then you got another individual that's on YouTube smacking his dog, choking it, grabbing by the neck. It's just a trip. It's a trip. Like I mean, if you're gonna go that far on a dog, why you want him? Why you want him? Well, we know why some people do what they do, but it's unfortunate and it really sucks. You know what I mean? It really sucks. Yep. So, all right, peoples, I'm really gone this time. I know I've said it many times. I keep getting sidetracked reading something and I'm bullshitting on tapping out, but I'm really gonna tap out this time. All right, everybody, thanks, and I'll catch you. I'll probably drop some videos in the meantime, in between time, but as far as going live, it probably won't be until Monday. Magnificent Monday, marvelous Monday. Nothing moody about my Mondays. You know what I'm saying? But it's all good in Hollywood. All right, tapping out.